welcome back to my channel. I am so happy to be back filming for you guys. If you guys like this makeup tutorial, it is very out there and different and edgy and colorful, but if you guys want to see a tutorial on this, it's either already up or it'll be up within the next few weeks, so keep an eye out for that. So today I have a fun video for you guys. I've actually been planning on filming this ever since I got it, which was probably middle of April, but you guys know if you watch my life update. If not, maybe go watch that. Everything will make a little bit more sense. But I got the new Clarisonic, the one that looks like this. I think it's called Fit, if I'm not mistaken. If I'm mistaken, I'll put an annotation of what it's actually called, but I'm pretty sure that's what it's called. And the original one that I had was, I didn't have the big one, I had the Mia 2, I think it is, or maybe it's the Mia 1. It was just the one speed regular, like, mini one. And this is what the new one looks like. It's more like a handheld. It does have 2 speeds. So I'm going to get into the differences and what made me buy this one. So basically, I have had this probably for about 4 years, and it has lasted me really, really well. This thing, first of all, this was my first ever Clarisonic. This is my second. This one completely changed my skincare, makeup, life. I'm not saying that as an overstatement. It might sound like an exaggeration, but truly this thing changed the whole game for me. I've had a lot of issues. Those of you who know, first of all, I'll say my skin type is very dry, dehydrated skin. Sometimes I veer more towards normal, but for the most part it's extremely dry and dehydrated, and I get dry patches. I get a lot of texture on my skin, which makes me need to exfoliate a little bit more, but because I have dry skin, if I over exfoliate, it makes it even drier. So it's kind of like a very delicate balance with my skin, and so for that reason I also have very sensitive skin. That's probably important to say. Things do irritate my skin very easily. So I was quite nervous to give this a try just because I didn't want it to completely break me out and be too rough on my skin. I do have on this one the sensitive brush head. That's the one that came with it. It's the one that comes with most Clarisonics, I think, except this one. It's a radiance brush head that comes with it, but the sensitive one is the one that I used for years with this one, and I honestly didn't mind that it didn't have the 2 speeds. This was just perfect for what I needed it to be. I alternated between each section of my face, focusing predominantly on my chin area, and nose, but which is where I had the most texture and like pore issues. And so the main difference for me, first of all, it does help to exfoliate your skin gently and kind of remove the dead layer of skin on top of your face, so makeup does apply a lot smoother over top of your skin, and I didn't have to do manual exfoliants as much, which in turn actually did help my skin to be less dry, but to keep a smoother texture. And for me, the key with this was texture. Those little white bumps that I get at the surface of my skin, especially on my chin, I do get them a little bit everywhere, but it's for the most part on my chin. I've never found anything that helped me with those little bumps. No product, no face wash, no face mask, no peel, nothing ever helped me with those bumps except for the Clarisonic. When I started using this, I immediately noticed a difference. That's not to say there will be like about a 2-week breakout period, cleansing period, where all the impurities are brought to the surface and you will break out, and it's going to make your skin worse before it gets better, but it has to go through that process in order to stay clear after that. Once you get past that, you're going to want to stay in the habit of using your Clarisonic, because as soon as you fall out of the habit, if you go for a few weeks to a month without using it, you're going to have to start that whole cycle all over again, which really sucks. So just try and keep it in your routine. You're going to figure out what works for you, whether that's once a week or whether it's every other day, every day, depending on your skin. For me personally, I use it, I would say every other day, so about 3 to 4 times a week. And that's just to kind of give my skin a break in between. I kind of know my skin, so I can tell when it needs it more than other times. But I do never try and fall, because sometimes I do fall out of the habit and it's really annoying when that happens. So I really just try and stay in the habit of using it at least a few times a week so that my skin continues to stay clear. And for me, it's been the texture that's been the only thing that works on the texture to keep it smoother and bring it to the surface before it makes like those annoying little white bumps. I would say 100% recommend the Clarisonic as a whole, as a line in general. Now, depending on your needs, whether you need a little bit like you want the 2-speed option to have a little bit of a harsher, like deeper clean, and then more of a like everyday clean, the different brush heads. There's only so much information I can give you in terms of what will work for you. You're going to have to look up different reviews and maybe just go on their website or the Sephora website and see which one they recommend for which skin type. That's also an option. I think that would be your best bet in figuring out what's going to work best for you. For me, I have stuck with the sensitive brush head on this one the whole time I had it, and that's worked great for me. Now, why did I switch from this one to this one? The only reason for that is because this one stopped working. It didn't stop working, but it stopped charging. I would charge this it would take 2 days to charge it, and it wouldn't even last one full use, or it would last one use and I would have to recharge it, which is not supposed to happen. I think you're supposed to get a 24 hours worth of charge, like using it. So that like should last you quite a long time. At the end, I would say for the last year I've struggled with this problem, and I knew I was going to have to replace it. And that's not to say that I think that it wasn't worth the money, because it did that eventually. I have used this on and off for 4 years. And sometimes I use it like almost on an everyday basis, and so this thing did last me a really long time. They are guaranteed for 1 year, so I mean, they should last you at least a year. In my experience, it'll last you longer than that. For me, it was still working great. It was just that it wasn't holding its charge anymore. And I mean, I never even contacted the manufacturer to know if there's a way to just replace the battery in this. But I feel like at that point, it would have probably cost me like half the price as just buying a new one. And I didn't know how long that would last. And this one came out around the same time that all this was happening to me. So I was like, you know what? I loved the other one so much. It was so worth it for me. If I break down the initial cost over the amount of time it lasted me and what it did for my skin, it was absolutely worth it for me. And so I decided to just bite the bullet and go ahead and purchase the new one. I think it's called the Fit. This one I got, and I was really interested. I didn't know whether I should just go with another one like this because I really liked this one, but I really liked the concept of being able to hold it like this. I thought it was like really cool, and it would give you a little bit more control. And I really liked the fact because, okay, so the original one that I have just came with a regular charger that plugs in the wall, and then this is like magnetic, and it just like sticks like that, and then you put the other end in the wall. I really liked the idea that this charger, same thing, it's a USB, so you can even plug it into a computer, which is really cool, but it also comes with the wall head thing, which is how I do it. And then it comes with this little like tray basically that you sit it on, and then you plug it in. And I really liked that. I thought it was a lot more practical to charge it, because the other one did end up, if I left it on my bathroom counter and moved things around, I share a bathroom with my brother, and it ended up always coming undone, which is probably what ruined the battery, because it would like come undone and I'd have to put it back on. So I really liked that that one had its own little stand, and I thought that was a really cool feature as well. And it also comes with the 2 speeds, which I never saw as a necessity, but I thought that it was kind of cool. It also pulsates when you need to switch sections, which my other one didn't. So that's kind of my thought process behind getting this one, and I must say I have been absolutely in love with it. I have had just as good of an experience so far with this one as I did with this one. It honestly works pretty much exactly the same. I haven't noticed any huge difference in my skin, other than the fact that it does still keep it smooth. I do like the Radiance brush head. I would say that the bristles are probably a little bit longer and more like soft or fluttery. I do like it because I do find that, I don't know if it's in my head, but that it does leave a little bit more of a glow to my skin, and that's probably because, it's probably because it's less harsh with its like turning, because the bristles are a little longer, so it doesn't dull down my skin as much. That's my reasoning behind it. I'm not entirely sure, but I have liked it. Will I repurchase the sensitive head? Maybe, probably, eventually. Like if they have a kit, I'll get one of each kind of thing. But I have been really enjoying this brush head. I wouldn't really recommend the other ones. I've heard horror stories about the deep cleaning one. I will never purchase that one. But those two so far, I've really enjoyed it. So it does have 2 speeds. One of them is 60 seconds. The other one is 90 seconds. It does pulsate when to switch sections. All of those little details of like how long for each section is in the little book when you get it, but you'll kind of feel it out for you. For me, I don't use the long sections I use them on my chin, and which usually is like one of the shorter ones. I use a longer one there, so you kind of adapt it what works for you and what your problems areas are. I don't know if I have much else to say about it other than I really like how compact and cute this is. I love the charging feature to it. If you were hesitating between the two, it honestly comes down to personal preference, because in terms of performance, they will both work basically exactly the same and just as well, and changing your brush head up can like change your results as well. But it comes down to personal preference. I would go in the store and like pretend you're doing it and like see which one you find more comfortable. I don't really prefer honestly one or the other. I just really prefer how this one charges, and I like that I have the option of having the two speeds and then the pulsing between. It just makes it easier and you're getting a more even clean. I like this one. It's the newer one, so I don't know if they're gonna veer more towards this after, if they're always gonna keep the two models. That's kind of part of why also I figured if they were starting to go towards these that I would just go ahead and get this one, since I probably will have this for another hopefully 4 or 5 years like the other one lasted me. That's basically all I have to say about it. Clarisonic, in my opinion, I know some people say it's not worth the hype. I know this is kind of turning into a worth the hype video. I know some people don't believe in Clarisonic, they believe in using your hands. Some people like that, I think it's called Luna or something. Kathleen Lights just did a video recently about that cleanser. I've never tried that, I can't compare them, but for me the Clarisonic has worked wonders. It has completely fixed the texture in my skin, and I could not be more thankful and happy with it, so I would definitely recommend it if you guys want to give it a shot. My battery is like flashing, so I'm going to go ahead and end this video here, but if there's anything I didn't cover, if you have any questions, definitely leave me a comment below and I will tell you whatever it is you want to know. If you guys have tried a Clarisonic, let me know your experience, and if you didn't like the Clarisonic, let me know why. I would love also if you could let me know if you guys tried that other cleanser, I think it's Luna or something, that's Sephora. It looks kind of interesting, it's different. I'd be really interested to know what you guys thought of that one as well. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'm so happy to be back filming. Leave me your comments down below with your suggestions for summer videos you would like to see. I will see you next week. Bye!